Hello, guys. Welcome to Careers.com. Until recently, we were known as JobEasy.co. We just had a rebranding and we became Careerist.com. Welcome, everyone. I see more and more people are joining. Good to see you all. Today, we are going to talk about a career in IT. We're going to talk about the software testing. We're going to talk about the industry, about the salaries. We're going to answer all of your questions, of course. Just bear with us. Listen carefully to the webinar, to the lesson, and most of the questions going to be answered during the lesson. At the end, we will leave time for your questions because, maybe something will not be clear to some of you, and we would love to answer those questions. We also going to show you what we actually do at work. And of course, we're going to show you how we can help you get this IT job, which is being paid in the United States from 70 to 100K, 35 to $50 per hour. It's something that you can learn in just 1 month. And the job search is going to take between 1 to 3 months as long as you following the instructions. Of course, I will talk about the instructions in details really soon. So today we're going to talk about the profession of software QA engineer, also known as software tester or software QA or functional tester, black box tester, UI tester, manual tester. You have many different names for same kind of job. And we're going to talk about it in details. We're going to talk about the career and job market overview. And we're going to also have a lesson about software quality assurance and testing. So QA stands for quality assurance. Our goal, the main purpose of QA is to make sure that everything looks, works, and feels good. Basically, as you all know, we have mobile applications, for example, that we install on the phone, right? Or a web application like a website, for example, Careers.com. It's a website, okay? So it's a web application. And you can access it from your laptop or desktop, or you can access it from your phone, okay? So it could be a mobile web application or a desktop web application. Now, someone designed those applications. When I say application, it means, for example, a website or navigation mobile app or weather app or any other kind of app. So someone designed it, someone created it, for example, developers, and we as QA people, as testers, we basically come in order to double check it, compare it with what is supposed to be, what is expected according to the requirements, according to the design. We compare it as a user and we report if we see any mismatches between actual and expected behavior. Whenever we feel or see that something is not working or is not looking well or looks strange or feels weird, in this case, our job is to report it, let developers know about it, and then we basically create a report, a bug report, sending it to the developer. The developer fixes that problem and sends it back to us so we can double check and make sure that this problem was fixed. That's our job. We don't fix problems, we just report problems. Okay? Very straightforward, very simple. Anyone can do it, and I will show you exactly what we are doing at work. So, is this course for you? First of all, you want to start a career in tech. You are looking to get a job within 2 to 4 months. It means that it's going to be 1 month program, 1 month course, after which you basically will need to search for the job for between 1 to 3 months by, of course, following the instructions, but it's going to be between 1 to 3 months of the job search. You need to keep it in mind. If you want to give up after 3 weeks of job search, it's going to be a big mistake. Okay, so if you want to get a job, you will need to search for it for at least between 1 to 3 months. Of course, you have exceptions. Sometimes someone gets a job after 2 weeks, someone gets a job after 4 months or 5. But if you're following instructions, it will be 1 to 3. You are available to work in the United States. So basically you have a green card or a citizenship or any kind of work authorization that allows you to work in the United States without any sponsorship, without any limitations. EAD, asylum, for example, we have a lot of graduates with this status. They have no problems getting the jobs. You need to be proficient in English. So it doesn't need to be Shakespeare English. It's enough to have English that others understand and you understand others, and you will not have communication problems. Okay? If you know that you have bad English or communication problems, you should first take care of that and learn English or work on your communication problems. But the English that you need for work in QA, it doesn't need to be perfect English. It could be accent. There is no problems with accents. As long as people understand you and you understand others and you can communicate with people, you're going to be fine. You also need to be ready to accept 70 to 100K job offers. Now, of course, you have exceptions. Someone will offer you 65K, someone will offer you 110K. But in general, the salary is going to be 70 to 100K, 35 to 50 per hour. If someone going to offer you less, you just tell him not to call you again. That's how it works. We're going to guide you and teach you everything you need. What you don't need any technical background. You don't need to learn any computer science. You don't need to learn coding. You don't need to learn programming languages. You don't need development skills, and you don't need to learn it because in manual QA, we don't use code. You also don't need to buy any equipment. As long as you can hear us and you can watch us and you have a laptop or a computer, you're good. Okay? Awesome. Okay, because right now, in case that you watch us on an iPad or something like that, you need to keep in mind that once we're going to have homework, for example, or once we're going to have the internship, you'll probably need the computer to, write something, use your keyboard. I'm not sure you can do everything on iPad. I recommend to have a laptop or a desktop. Any computer would be fine. Okay, cool. Why you should choose a career in QA. So according to Indeed.com, the annual salary for QA jobs ranges from 54,000 to 105,000 across the nation. Now that's, basically that's the average across the nation. I will show you right now why the average doesn't really matter. Let me just share my screen with you. And I actually want to show you something very interesting. So guys, I want to show you a website called Glassdoor.com. According to Glassdoor.com, you can see the salaries for different professions. All of you, after this 1-month program, going to become software QA engineers. As I said before, you're going to have different names for this job, but one of them going to be software QA engineer. It doesn't mean that all of the positions in software QA engineering going to fit to you. Probably 80% of the positions going to ask for extra. They're going to ask for more tools, more knowledge, more experience, and many other things. But 80% of those that are going to be asking extra, 60% of those jobs eventually will hire manual QA like you. You know how we know that? Because someone who knows coding, who knows Python, who knows Java, who knows automation, who knows tools that they are asking will never work for less than 100K. Actually, he will never work for less than 110K. That's why when you see the average of software QA engineer, you're going to start understanding what's going on. The thing is that the average for software QA engineer, for some reason, is 70,000. It means that most of those jobs don't ask any of that. Now, we don't want you to become average. We created this program to make you and make sure that you will be much better than the average, to make sure that you will sound much better, that your resume and LinkedIn will look much better, and that you will know how to answer interview questions and to impress the hiring managers. That's why we are here for. That's why you can see that the average is 70K, but the high is 94K. For example, if we're going to go to other areas, let's say that we want to see other areas. So let's go to San Jose, for example. So in San Jose, California, we're going to see that the average for software QA engineer is $88,000. But we have graduates that are making 80, 75, 90, 95, 100, and 110K in the Silicon Valley. So average is good to know, but you can make more. Let's see average in New York. In New York, our graduates, let me tell you first the average is going to be $73,000 in New York. But try to explain it to our graduates who are getting 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. And since last week, we had 105K in New York. So it's good to know the average, but we don't care about the average because we prepare you much better. If we go to other city, for example, Chicago, Illinois, we're going to see that the average is even lower, $67,000. But try to explain it to our graduates that are getting 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, and 100K in Chicago. We actually have a graduate in Chicago who is making more. Okay? So, as you understand, the average doesn't matter. What matters is how you sound, what you demand, how you present yourself, your LinkedIn, your resume, of course, your confidence. And that's why we are here for, to help you with all of that. Now, let me show you another website called dice.com. On this website, for example, if we're going to search for software QA engineer, I will show you that there is a great demand for QA engineers or testing. So for example, if you search any big city, for example, Atlanta, Georgia, you're going to see right now more than 860 positions. Now, it doesn't mean that all of those positions are going to 100% fit to you. It doesn't. But it definitely indicates that there are a lot of positions that are going to fit you in QA for sure. Okay. So whenever you see more than 200 positions, it means that there is a demand and there are a lot of jobs in your area. If you go to big cities, you're going to see probably more than 1,000 positions. At least recently, when I was going to New York, you see more than 1,000 positions in New York. Same goes in big cities like LA or any big city. We have already graduates working in 26 states. Only the past 2 months, we had 40 graduates that got jobs, and they added another 7 states. So we had 19 states. Now we have 27 states. I'm sorry, 26 states. Okay, cool. So across the country, around the big cities, you will find a lot of jobs. For example, Denver, Colorado, boom, 800 plus positions. Seattle or any other big city. If you go to my LinkedIn, you will see the list of all the states and the cities where our graduates currently working. So a lot of jobs, a lot of demand for QA, and that's awesome. Now let's get back to our presentation. What's the benefits of QA jobs? First of all, it's very easy to learn. You don't need any programming skills. Very simple, very straightforward. The compensation is very nice, 70 to 100K. In most cases, it's a very nice salary. The stress levels are usually very low. According to Forbes, QA is considered one of the happiest jobs in the United States because it usually has a good, life balance, work-life balance, and it also usually stress-free. Now, you're always going to have exception here and there, but I'm telling you about the general situation. You don't need a computer science degree. It's a shortcut into the IT world, and there are opportunities for career growth. Usually, for career growth, you have two directions. One is to go, if you want to make more than 70 to 100K after a while working in manual QA, you can move into two directions. One direction is to become more technical, to learn programming language like Python or Java. Python going to be more simple. To learn algorithms, to learn automation tools, okay, to learn, for example, Selenium, WebDriver. It's something that's going to be complicated. It's not for everyone. It's not going to be simple. It's not going to be like manual QA. But if you learn it, you'll be able to make 110 to 170K. That's one way of growing in QA. And the second one is just to go into leadership, to become a lead or to become a QA manager. You will have more responsibilities, probably more headache, and probably more money. So that's the two ways that you can move forward later on. But of course, you need first to get your manual QA job, 70 to 100K. And after working a while, you definitely can try and move forward and, basically try more advanced things and in order to advance your career. Now, since March 2020, most of jobs in IT are remote. Most of our graduates right now are working remotely. So you don't need to go anywhere. You can apply to jobs in New York, sitting in Minnesota, or vice versa, and you can get jobs across the country, across US, and working from your home, which is awesome. And many of our graduates really enjoy that. Lot of QA jobs around the US, and it doesn't matter where you live, because nowadays you can apply to jobs and work remotely. So according to Forbes, as I mentioned before, QA considered one of the happiest jobs, and that's the different titles that we have. So for example, when I was working at Intel, my title was software test engineer. But whenever I worked at Apple, my title was QA engineer, software QA engineer of second degree. But I was doing exactly the same job as any manual tester, functional tester, QA analyst, QA tester, black box tester, test analyst, and so on. So many times the titles, they mean same exact kind of job. Now, you always have exceptions. You will always have jobs that are looking for software QA engineer, for example, and they ask for much more. Now, 60% of those, eventually, even if they ask much more, will hire someone like you. But of course, you will have many companies that will tell you, no, sorry, we don't want you. We want someone with more experience, more knowledge, more tools, and stuff like that, which is totally fine because it's part of the game. The job search, it's a game, and you need to follow certain rules. In this game, of course, you will get at some point no's. Companies will not want to talk to you until you will start getting yeses and you will start getting interviews, which will transform into offers. And we're going to teach you how to do that. It's very simple and very straightforward. Our graduates right now getting, we have stories right now for the past 2 months, people getting 2 free offers. Those that following the instructions, they receive more than 1 offer. Okay, cool. So regarding the QA course by Careerist, you get intensive practical training from industry experts. When I say experts, I mean that our instructors are QA managers, QA leads, software QA engineers from Google, Apple, Intel, Facebook, that's going to share with you tips and tricks about how to get maximum rate in minimum time. And I'm going to talk about it more into detail soon. You're also going to have internship with references that will really help your resume. Nowadays, nobody really wants to hire anyone without experience. That's why we're going to make sure that after the 1 month program, you will join the internship where you're going to practice what you learned, and you will be able to get real on-hand experience for your resume, for your LinkedIn. You're going to be part of this internship until you get the job. I promise you that after 2 weeks at the internship, you will know everything you need about your project, about your team, about your company, about what you were doing, about tasks that you were following or doing, about writing test cases, writing bug reports, executing test cases, and testing different platforms and devices, whatever you will need in order to pass the interview. Also, you get convenient online sessions like one now, and you will be able to watch it live to ask your questions. We're definitely going to answer your questions. And also, you're going to get recording. Like today, you're going to get always a video recording after the lesson. Usually a few hours after the lesson, it will come to your email, and you can watch it anytime that works best for you. So for example, if you're busy, you cannot watch it live, you always can watch the video recording anytime that works best for you. Also, you're going to get mentors. Because we are the biggest QA course in the United States, we have already more than 100 employees, and we have a very big team of mentors that are going to work with you one-on-one. After you graduate the program, you will be assigned with a mentor who will work with you one-on-one and will make sure that you're following the instructions, that you are prepared well, that you know the questions and the answers, and that you sound good. Once we make sure that you sound good and you're ready to go, the mentor is going to help you with the resume, with the LinkedIn, and with the instructions for the job search. Okay, cool. So regarding job interview preparation, it's going to be basically reviewing how you sound and guiding you how to sound better. If you will not pass this mock interview with the mentor, not a problem. You will have another one and another one until we make sure that you sound okay. We're also going to have assistance with job applications in case that you will need us to apply for you because you're busy or you don't have time. We're going to have this service as part of the program for you. I always recommend to apply by yourself because you will be able to see more results, but we're also going to be here for you to help you in case that you will need this help. We're also going to have graduate meetings every 3 Saturdays out of 4. Almost every Saturday, we're going to have graduate meetings where I'm going to answer your questions. I'm going to bring success stories of our graduates, of your fellow students and graduates that are going to share their experience, their stories, and they're going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing those graduate meetings until you get the job. And if you want to get the job, you should come to those meetings or at least watch the video recordings of those meetings because we're going to discuss important tips, tricks, and of course, answering your questions. Our guarantee, you pay us only a small commitment fee of $799 until you get hired. I'm going to talk about it in details really soon because I'm going to talk about the prices, about the different options that you have. But I just want you to understand that most of the money that we make, it's once you get the job. That's why we are much more interested than you to get you the job. That's why we're going to teach you exactly what you need, and we're not going to waste your time, your effort, because we don't want to waste ours. By the way, if you don't get a job in tech, you won't owe us anything in case that you choose this income share agreement. You just pay the registration fee, and then you don't owe us anything if you don't get a job in tech. Or if you get a job and you make less than 25 per hour, we also don't want anything from you because we're going to be very sad for you not following the instructions. Okay, cool. Let me introduce you our team, our instructors. We have Yuri Sokolov with more than 7 years in quality assurance. He is a QA lead at Google in Mountain View, California. We have Patrick Siebenthal, software QA engineer at Facebook and Intel with more than 6 years of experience in testing, also in Menlo Park, California. We have myself, Max Lubachansky. I'm the co-founder at carrierist.com, and also I have more than 7 years of experience as software QA engineer at Apple, Intel, and many other Silicon Valley companies. Please feel free to connect on LinkedIn and to see more about our experience and background. I'm also from the Silicon Valley. Just recently moved to Miami, Florida for the winter. Now we have Natalia Atif. She's a QA manager with more than 10 years of experience at companies like Intel, Apple, and other Silicon Valley companies. We actually work together at Intel. And we have Mark Housel with more than 8 years of experience in quality assurance, leading teams at Google and Apple. We also have Alex Khvastovich with more than 7 years of experience in QA manager at United Power and other Silicon Valley companies. So basically, guys, we created this course not to be another course. We created this course to become the dream school we all once wanted to find. A place that's going to support you, going to help you, going to guide you, going to focus you on the things that you need, and will tell you what you don't need. A place that will teach you to avoid the mistakes that we all had in the beginning of our careers. A place that's going to save your time, your effort, and you know time equals money. And that's why we are here for, to teach you how to get maximum rate in minimum time and get you your IT job. Regarding success stories, guys, you are welcome to see our Google reviews, our Facebook reviews, and the course report. I'm sure you can just Google it. You also are welcome to go to our website, carrierist.com. You can go to Insights, Success Stories, and you can just scroll down our graduates' success stories, listen more about what they were able to achieve after this 1 month program. We have a lot of stories, and I'm sure that you would love to hear those and better understand who we are and what we are doing here. Cool. So regarding the graduates, our graduates already work in 26 states in more than 180 companies, including Google, Apple, Amazon, Slack, Samsung, Facebook, Uber, Salesforce, Intel, Nike, Verizon, AT&T, Disney, and many, many, many more. I just don't want to waste your time mentioning all of them. Any big company that you know, most likely our graduates are working there. And it's not only in the Silicon Valley, it's across the country in 26 states already. Nowadays, it doesn't really matter where you live because you can work remotely. Now, this is the map. I'm sure it's not updated. We will update it even more soon because we just had extra 7 states joining, and where you can see pretty much where our graduates are working right now. So I will tell you the average salaries in those areas. So for example, in Seattle, Washington, our graduates making between 70 to 100K. In Oregon, between 70 to 85K. San Francisco, Bay Area, San Jose, they're making between 70 to 110K. In Sacramento, over here, we can see it in this slide. Our graduates are making between 70, it was till 80K, but recently we had a guy who got 90K. So you can get 70 to 90K in Sacramento as well. By the way, the guy that got the 90K, he works remotely for LA. In LA, our graduates were always making between 70 to 90K. Last 2 months, we had 2 people that got 100 and 110K. So you can make up to 100K in LA as well. San Diego, 70 to 80K. Texas, Florida, Georgia, Ohio, Wisconsin, Syracuse, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Columbus, Ohio, 70 to 80K. Boston, Massachusetts, 80 to 90K. By the way, I think we just recently had someone in Dallas who got more. I think it was 80K this time. No, it was more. It was more. It was 90K in Austin, Texas. Okay, so usually it's 70 to 80, but you always have exceptions. Okay, cool. So this is the map. 26 states already, and I'm sure that you guys gonna help us to add more and more. In green, you can see the average salaries according to Glassdoor.com, and in purple, you can see the average salaries of our graduates. That's why we don't really care about the average. We're gonna teach you how to get more than the average. So let's talk about what we actually do at work. And just to remind you, guys, I'm gonna answer all of your questions really soon. I'm gonna answer the questions more to the end, because during the lesson, we're gonna answer most of the questions. Cool. Let's see. So basically what we do at work. It's one of the most important questions, I guess. You guys probably want to better understand what we actually do at work, and I will show you exactly what we do. So let me first show you a website that's gonna contain different types of issues. So, for example, this website looks like e-commerce. In this e-commerce, I'm sure you had, different. You saw different websites where you had different things that you could buy or order. So, for example, let's start from the beginning. You see this button? It's called Shop Now. Now, this button, when I click it, doesn't take me anywhere. We call it a functional issue. We call it whenever something is not working properly, it's a bug, it's a problem, and we want to report it. So we click it, Shop Now button is not working. This is a functional issue. Let's talk about another kind of issue, UI issue. UI stands for user interface, also known as GUI, graphic user interface. So as you see, this model, for some reason, has her face cut off, or we also call it truncated. Now, we don't really know if it's a problem or not until we compare it to the design document. But let's assume that we don't have the design document. Only by a feeling, it looks weird, it looks strange, it looks like it's not supposed to be like that. So we're going to report that this image is truncated. Of course, before we report it, we want to double check the design. But if we don't have the design, we will definitely report it. Maximum, someone will close it and say it's supposed to be like that, don't worry about it. Now, what we can do, we can right-click the button, click the inspect element. I will do it one more time if it was too fast. You right-click your mouse over here, you click the inspect element on your Chrome browser, for example. Boom, it opens the Chrome Dev Tools. Let me click this button. It will allow you to go from element to element to see his size, his color, his font. And once we go here, we notice, you see, the image looks larger or bigger than it appears. So maybe it's not supposed to be like that. If we click this image, we can see on the left side the HTML code that shows what is associated with this element. On the right side, we see the CSS, which is basically the style, okay, of that item. So once we bring the mouse over here, we hover the mouse, you see that the original image is not truncated, is not cut off. So maybe it's actually supposed to appear like that. So we're going to definitely create a bug report and maybe even add a screenshot of this, just, to let developers know that, hey, we noticed that the original image looks different. Now, this Chrome DevTools I mostly used it just to verify if it has the correct size, color, and font. Very straightforward, something that you can learn in 5 minutes, not complicated. Actually, I didn't really use it much, just in one company or two for a while. It was not something I was using on a daily basis. But of course, we're going to teach you how to use it because it might pop up during the interviews. Now, you can choose this at Chrome DevTools to bring it over here, or you can click the three buttons of the setting to put it on the right dock. Okay, now it was on the bottom. Now let's put it on the right. Boom. Now we see the image, which looks much more clear. So maybe the intention was it to look like that. So we don't know until we double check, but we definitely gonna write a bug report about it. Okay, it was example of something being cut off or truncated. Now let me show you example of something being overlapped. So you see this model here, we have real man's fashion. Once we take the mouse over him, he covers the letter N. So it seems like something overlapping, okay? Whenever something is hiding something else or covering something else. This we call overlapping. Let me show you some more examples. Now you saw those beautiful ladies here. Once you bring the mouse over here, it brings a blue background on the picture. Over here, same. Oops, sorry, clicked on her. Didn't want it. So here it brings the blue color. Here it brings the blue color and it remains the same picture. But once we go to the lady in the red, boom, you see the image changed. We call it inconsistent behavior, and we definitely going to report that. Let's see another example. When we go to another website, now here it shows a white background on a bright background. It's very, I think it's hard to read. If we scroll down to the footer, we call it footer. Once I bring the mouse over the buttons, let's see what happens. Oh no, my eyes. Okay, it's very not pleasant for your eyes. It's a bad user experience, and we definitely want to report bad user experience because we are the voice of the customer. We are advocating the customers. So once we feel that something is weird, something is bad, we want to report it and help deliver a better user experience for our customers. Let's give another example. So let's just switch to a different language. So we go to languages, or over here, let's just change it to one other language. So for example, if we go on English and we scroll down and all looks nice, right? This looks nice. This looks nice. Nice. Okay. Now let's go to change the language. Let's change it to Russian, for example. Once we switch the language, and we go to the same area that we saw before, we're going to notice that, you see, this word is longer than it was in English. So now it's overlapping outside of the box. Okay, it was just an example of something that is weird, strange, overlapped, misaligned, truncated, and inconsistent. I can show you many different examples. Let's see another example. So we have different fields here, as I hope you see. Okay, so we have different fields, and those fields are misaligned because if you can see, this field is misaligned to this field. This field is misaligned to this field. I would assume that they should be aligned. You see those check boxes? I would be assuming that they gotta be aligned on one line, but they don't. That's why we're gonna write a bug report letting developers know for them to fix that. Same goes here, okay? Also, we can test, I'm sure that you saw something like that. You see, text overlapping the image, or image overlapping the text, or something like that, when the text is overlapping another text. Or we go to a website, and on this website, we just go to a link. We click it, and it brings us to 404. that's a bug, that's an issue, and we want to report that kind of issues as well. Okay, now let me show you an example of how we write bug reports. So we're going to have this website. So let's assume that you are testing it and you go to design document that somebody gave you. It's PDF. It shows this image, this photo, this page, and it shows that the cars should be 2019 Yaris, 2019 Corolla, and 2019 FRS or 86, whatever you call it. So you go compare it with what you have here, and you see that this is 19, this is 19, but this is not 19, this is 20. Now, I'm not saying this is a mistake in the real world. I'm just saying that let's assume just to show you an example of an issue. So it's supposed to be 19, but it's not. What we do, we go to the most popular bug tracking system in the world, which is called Jira. And of course, all of you are going to have access to it once you're going to join the course. Probably during the first week, you will join Jira and you will start using it. You can start practicing it. So when we go to Jira, all you need to know right now is just one single button. It's called Create. Once you click it, boom, it opens an overlay which you need to fill in order to report the issue. Because to remind you, we don't fix problems, we only report problems. So let's call the project demo. It could be Toyota Scion or any other name that your company gave to this project. The issue type going to be bug report, because as QA testers, we mainly write bug reports. That summary going to be the title. It's basically going to show everyone what and where is the problem. In our case, you went to the homepage and you saw the 2020 Corolla hatchback model should be 2019. It should be very straightforward. It should be short description that's going to explain everyone what is the problem and where is the problem. It should not be too long. It should be short and consistent. Okay? Cool. Now, description. It's basically going to have the steps to reproduce with actual and expected behavior, because you need to show the developer and make his life easier. You need to show him where is the problem and what is the problem. So steps, go to the website, to this link. 2, observe 2020 Corolla hatchback. Actual behavior, it's 2020 Corolla. Expected behavior, it's supposed to be 2019 Corolla. Priority, because Toyota is one of the most popular cars in the United States, probably the most popular. It's going to affect millions and millions of people. It's going to affect probably hundreds of millions of dollars. So in this case, because it's on the website, on the production, and it could affect a lot of customers that we care about, it's probably going to be very high or highest priority, because we don't want anyone to be misled. Labels, it's not mandatory, but let's say that if you're testing Toyota Scion, you're going to call it Scion, and that's going to be your label. Just to make life easier for other people, once they click it, they will see all the tickets that have same label. Environment should show where the problem happened, on which device, on which platform. So if you're using MacBook, you just write MacBook Pro, High Sierra, Mac OS, version of your MacBook, and its version of your Mac OS, of your browser, if it's web. If you're having Windows, you're going to write the name of your laptop with the name of Windows, the version of it, and the browser. If you don't know the browser, you go click here and see about the browser. If you want to know about your Mac, you click here and read about this Mac. If you find it on the Android device or iOS device, you will write the name of the device. For example, Samsung Galaxy S20, Android something, and it could be a browser if it was a web version, or it could be the mobile app with version 2.56, whatever it is. Same goes for iPhone. You just say the name of your device, the iOS version, and then the browser or the application build that you installed. Okay. Now, almost last one before we send it is the attachments, where we're going to show what happened and where. So for example, here we're going to create a screenshot by Command Shift 4 on your MacBook. You just highlight what you want and boom, it will save it on your desktop. You can always also use Command Shift 3 and it will take the screenshot of the whole screen. If you're using Windows, you just click your Start menu button and you will find in the Finder snipping tool, something that's going to do exactly the same. Very simple, very straightforward. You will learn it in 5 minutes, nothing complicated with that. And this screenshot we just created, we're going to attach. So we're going to click the attachments and we're going to click the screenshot that we just created. Boom, or you upload it, choose it where it was saved, and you click insert. After a few seconds, it will upload, and now you need to assign the issue to the relevant person. So for example, it's going to be the developer that is working on this matter. During the first week at work, you will know exactly who is doing what, and you will know who to send it. Usually you work with 2-3 people, and you will know who are they. So summary, you write project, you choose project name, you write issue type, which is bug report, you write the title, which should be short and informative, description with steps to reproduce, actual and expected behavior, priority, environment with where you found the problem, attachments with screenshots, it could be video recording, sometimes log files. We're going to talk about it during the course. And of course, assignee, who you're going to assign it to. You're going to click create button and boom, voila, you have your first bug report, guys. Congratulations. That's the bug. Was it complicated? I don't think so. It's very simple, very straightforward, and I promise you that anyone can do it. That's pretty much what we do at work. That's what is being paid 70 to 100K, $35 to $50 per hour. It's very, very simple. Now, usually we don't write all day those things. We write bug reports, maybe 5, 6 bug reports per day, sometimes 3, sometimes 8, depends. Besides that, we also execute test cases. And sometimes we write test cases as well. We're going to teach you that as well, and we're going to talk about it into details really soon. Now, let me tell you more about the prices, about the different options before we're going to have the second part of the lesson and before I'm going to answer all of your questions. So we're going to have this course that started today. It's going to be for 4 weeks. The first 2 weeks going to be theoretical trading by the teachers. It's going to be Sunday to Thursday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. After that, we're going to have the next 2 weeks. It's going to have job interview preparation and practical training. This time, it's going to be same days, Sunday to Thursday, but the hour is going to be 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, which is 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. If for some reason you cannot watch those lessons during that time, it doesn't matter because you can watch the video recording anytime that works best for you, and we're going to send you after each lesson the video recordings of the lessons. So you mostly pay us after you've been hired. The first lesson is completely free. Then starting tomorrow, if you want to join us, you will have a few different options. So the first option is to pay upfront of $2,999, and then you don't need to pay anything else. But in case that you cannot afford $2,999, or you're not sure that you will follow the instructions, or you're not sure about your English or other things, in this case, you can choose the income share agreement, which we call career bundle, or basically a bundle where you just pay $799 and then you don't need to pay anything else. You just pay the income, you just sign the income share agreement, and you will pay us after that only in case that you will get a job in tech. Once you get the job in tech, you will pay us 15% out of your salary before taxes every month at the end of the month for the first 24 months. In this case, you will be able Of course, you will pay only during the time you work. If you stop working or post working, you will stop paying until you get your next job, and then you will pay for the remaining months from your next tech job. Okay, so you don't, if you don't work, you don't pay. You pay only as long as you work. Now, in case that you would like to choose the automation program, which is going to be the advanced program, which is going to be after manual. So manual QA, you do the program, you get the job in 2, 3, 4 months, you get 70 to 100K. After that, if you want to grow and you want to learn automation, then you can come to us for the automation program. In this case, your income share agreement will change from 24 to 27. So additional 3 months going to be added. In case that you don't want to pay the percent out of your salary, you can just pay the upfront of the manual QA plus automation of $5,999. In case you want just the manual QA, you choose the $2,999 in case that you want to pay the upfront, because the upfront, of course, going to be much better option, in like you're going to pay much less for the upfront than paying later percentage out of your salary. But again, it's your choice. You choose the option that works best for you. If you don't get a job in IT, you won't owe us anything. Cool. Please know that in case of upfront, we will not refund the full amount if you don't get a job in QA. Keep that in mind as well once you do your decision. So again, registration fee and income share agreement if you get the job, or upfront. Okay, so if you pay upfront, it's $2,999. If you don't want to pay the upfront, you pay $799. After which you don't pay anything else until you get the job. Once you get the job, it's 15% before taxes every month at the end of the month for the first 24 months, as long as you work. You want to do the automation as well, you add another 3 months to the ISA. Or you want to pay upfront for manual and automation, you pay $5,999 if you want to get both. I always recommend you to do the upfront to get the job, and only after to try automation. Don't go to automation before you search the job for 2-3 months, even 4, following the instructions. Okay, cool. Now, tomorrow, we're going to have lesson number 2. If you want to join us, you're welcome. You just need to go to this link, choose the option that works best for you. It could be upfront or income share agreement. You will receive it to your email, and you need to pay and sign, or sign and pay, depends which option you choose. And after that, you will be getting the invite for tomorrow's lesson number 2 with a personal password that will allow you to access the classes. So tomorrow the class is going to be same time, same link. If you're going to have any questions that I didn't or I will not answer today, you can always email advisors@carrierist.com. I will share those links with you in the chat very soon. And also, I want you to know that those of you that will fill out the survey, it will take you exactly 1 minute at the end of the lesson, because we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear what you think about the lesson, and we always try to become better. So once you fill out the survey, you will get $50 Amazon gift card. If you join the course, it will be sent to you 1 week after you joined. Okay, guys, so I will share those links with you very soon. And now let me see if I still have something that I didn't cover with you. Okay, so I know that some of you are asking about the curriculum. So guys, I want you to understand that you will have exactly what you need, because we know better than you what you need. That's why we're gonna give you what you need. All the tools, all the different platforms, devices. We're gonna teach you about iOS, Android, web and mobile testing, different platforms, different devices. We're going to teach you, basics of Xcode, Android Studio, how to install, uninstall application, how to create log files. We're going to teach you how to use Jira, how to use TestRail, how to write test cases, how to execute test cases. We're going to give you to practice it. We're going to give you, we're going to prepare you how to use Chrome Dev Tools. We're going to talk about networking issues. We're going to talk about UI issues, functional issues. We're going to also introduce you browser stack, and I will share you the syllabus link with you with all of the details about the hours, about the dates, about the topics that we're going to cover in each lesson. I am scrolling it right now, so once you watch the video recording, you can definitely pause it or stop it. And also, we're going to share the link in the description of this video. You're going to have the link for the syllabus. Okay, guys? Awesome. By the way, once you're going to finish the course, it's going to be just the beginning, because we're going to be with you till the victory. And we're going to meet on the graduate meetings. We're going to meet at the internship, and we're going to make sure that you're going to get this job if you following the instructions. Now, regarding QA, it's second happiest job in according to Forbes. Regarding manual testing versus automation, guys, keep calm and continue testing. 9 reasons manual testing will always be in demand. I recommend you to read this article, because you're always going to have people that are going to tell you that, hey, manual testing is dying. Well, it's not. That's why we have this course, because we help people to get jobs in QA. That's why since January, we already had 40 people that got jobs in QA. Okay, cool. By the way, guys, I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to answer all of your questions in about probably, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes. We're going to have a lesson right now with our teacher, and I also going to introduce you some of our teachers. And at the end, the last maybe 15, 20 minutes, I will definitely answer your questions, guys. Now, let me just see. I saw some of you started asking me questions already. Can we get a PDF of the slides inside the video? Guys, you will get a presentation. I'm not sure if it's going to be PDF or a presentation of PowerPoint. One of those, you're definitely going to get to your email together with the lesson. You're going to get the presentation of the lesson. Are we having class today or just introduction? So yes, we're going to have a class today. It's going to start right in 2 minutes. And this was part of the introduction before the class. Ages, could 50 plus age get tech job? Yes, guys, as I always say, yes, you can. If you ask me recommended age, I usually say 20 to 50, but we don't discriminate. If you're 100 years old and come to us, we don't want to discriminate you. We just don't want to, spend your time, effort, and money. So I usually recommend 20 to 50, but you have exceptions. I just had a graduate who got a job in Miami, 70K, he's 19 years old. I just had a girl in Sacramento, she's 52 years old, she got a job in Sacramento. I think that if you're 60 or even 62 and you feel like 50 and you're confident and you speak English and you have an Apple Watch and you learn fast and you know how to use your laptop and your mobile phone, I'm sure that you're going to be fine. Okay, so if you ask recommendation, I'm saying 20 to 50. But if you're 55 or 60, but you feel 45 and you know what you're going to fit culturally, you're going to be fine, I'm sure. Okay. Are we testing on multiple platforms? So yes, in most cases, we test different platforms, different devices, depends on which platforms and devices you support. Depends on the company. Someone will test only iOS, someone only Android, someone always only Windows or Mac. Someone will test all of them together. So it really depends. Cool. So you can create screenshot on Windows using Windows button Shift plus S. Cool. Awesome. I hope I answered about the ISA and about the prices. If something will not be clear, I will answer rest of the questions soon, guys. So bear with me. I will answer most of the questions really soon. Now, please, let me introduce you our teachers. Yuri, how are you?
Hi, Max. Hi, everyone. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you very well.
All right. So, guys, welcome to our first lesson. My name is Yuri Sokolov, and I'm one of the instructors and the course creators for this particular program. So let me tell you a bit about myself. I have more than 8 years of experience working in QA. So I worked for the companies, big companies, small companies, startups, testing mobile devices, websites, hardware, everything. So because I got a few questions, guys, so you don't need to have a technical background to start a career in QA, myself included, and a lot of my friends, a lot of our teachers, before joining the industry of QA, we did not have any IT background, we didn't have computer science degree, we didn't have any, training or knowledge, because you don't have to. It's a pretty basic job, and all you have to have is a basic knowledge of testing the concepts in a common sense, because that's all you need in order to start working in QA. So another question that I got in the chat room is, we heard that automation is taking over manual QA because this particular course is designed for people who do not have any IT background, any knowledge of coding, any knowledge of tools or anything complicated. And a lot of questions that I get is automation will replace manual QA. And let me tell you, so I've been working as a manual QA for, even then when I just started, people were saying, oh, you know what, you should learn automation, don't learn manual QA. And funny thing, 8 years passed and we have more manual QA jobs than we had before. In fact, I switched from manual to automation recently, and I can tell you just by my experience that automation is far from taking most of the manual QA jobs, because it's takes too much time, it's too expensive, and it always makes sense to have someone manually check for the quality of the software. So guys, welcome. You made a right choice, because if you here during this first lesson, it means you're one step closer to becoming a quality assurance engineer. And I hope I'll see you tomorrow on our lesson number 2, which I will be teaching. And let me introduce our teachers. So Patrick, are you with us?
I am with us. How you doing,
Class
Yuri?
is all yours. Hey.
Thank you. Thank you, Yuri. Wow, look at you guys. Wow, so many in here. Thank you guys for being here. My name is Patrick Siebenthal. I'm also one of the QA instructors here. I mainly teach part of the manual classes, so I'll be one of the first instructors that you meet. And I'm really happy to maybe see you guys in the next coming days. I think it's a great program. And we're learning quite a bit over here. A little bit about myself is that I've been doing QA for a little over 7 years now. But like Yuri, I did not come from a traditional background of computer science. I had always kind of enjoyed computers growing up, right? But I didn't know how to program. I didn't know anything about IT or any kind of technical part. And my degree was actually in animation, so very far removed from that. And some of you might be thinking, wow, that's a really great, inspiring kind of industry to be in. And why would you want to switch over to something like that? Well, I've seen that my friends and some of my colleagues have made the switch, and then they were working half as much as myself in animation, and then they're earning twice as much. So it seemed like a no-brainer deal. All right. And the way I kind of got into that was I had taken a similar course to this, and then I had kind of worked my way up there, but there wasn't a direct college path towards this. So, and that's really what we want to do now, is be able to present you guys with something that is a full-fledged curriculum, right? And we are going to take you through the history. We're going to take you through some of a lot of diction terms, all the way through manual QA, so on and so forth, if you want to progress into other aspects that we have to offer. And then we're going to be able to build you up and build the confidence and build the terms you need to know once you get in the office, in case you've never been there before, right? So I would really love to see you guys coming. And then there's so much more opportunity, right? So as Yuri had said, the industry is not going away. It's not dying. I had just spent the last half decade or more working on lots of projects from Google, Intel, Facebook, and working in VR and mobile phones. And there's just so much to learn, but it's not hard. It's actually fairly easy, right? And if you don't know something, we can just consult start in Google. With that, I would like to take it back to Yuri, and we're going to see our next instructor.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you very much. So let me introduce our next instructor, Alex Kvastovich.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alex. I am a QA engineer. I've been doing QA for 8+ years as well. I started as you starting right now, going through a boot camp. I finished boot camp and then started working as a QA engineer, going through the junior to senior to a manager's position. And I can definitely tell you that there is so much stuff to test. There are different products. They have hardware, they have combinations of hardware and software. It's always going to be something that you have to put your hands on. You have to not only just automate, but move things around, add things. It's always going to be a job there. So don't worry if you think that, okay, manual QA is going away. It's definitely not going away. It's there to stay. And the more products we get on the market, the more manual QA there will be. It's just common sense. If you look around you, what you have on your table, what you wear on your arm, what is cooking your food, everything has code in it. And anything that has code in it has to be tested. You just can't automate everything. It's impossible. So the more products get digitalized, the more products get code in them, the more testing jobs there are. And we're here to help you out to grow, to learn, and fill this gap. Now, I used to work at so many different jobs. I used to work in construction. I used to work in restaurants. I did start 2 different colleges, one for accountant, other for psychology. Finished none of them. Just realizing how long it's going to take me to actually get the real job. I don't know if you ever did security like I, but when you walk and you on your patrol and you think about the real jobs where people make 60K plus, not like $10 or $12 an hour. So this is the opportunity that I saw and I grasped it. I went through the boot camp like you right now. I got into my first QA, and that's it. I'm doing it for many, many years now. I just right now got into the college to get my associate's degree in computer science just because I can have it now and I have time to do it. But definitely, if you're looking for a switch, if you're looking for a solid career, QA is the way to go. And don't worry if you don't know programming. I didn't know programming as well. QA is not about programming, not as much. It's about understanding the product, and it's just about making sure that the product acts according to the requirements, and that's it. So almost anybody can be taught doing QA. Yuri?
Alex, I have a question for you. Do
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
think people can get jobs without knowing any automation?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no questions. Yeah,
All right,
they
because
can.
many were worried about that. Cool. Awesome. Thank you very, very much.
Bye, Yuri.
Thank you, Alex. All right, guys, so let me introduce our next instructor, Mark. Mark, are you with us?
Yes, I am here.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself? The class is all yours.
All right, thank you very much. Is everybody able to see me?
Yes.
All right, great. So hello, everybody. My name is Mark Hossel. I will go ahead and start by giving you a little bit of information about myself. When I first started, I had my career in technology. I had very, very little experience. I was able to get a role at Apple as a QA analyst, working on the Flyover project. If you have an iPhone and you open up Apple Maps, you can go ahead and there's a little sort of icon there that enables you to look at the world in 3D. That's the Flyover project. So with almost no experience, I was able to get a job there doing QA. That was basically the springboard for my tech career. Spent over a year in that role, and then went over to Google, was doing some QA there on multiple teams, and eventually found my way to the Google Play team. It was a great team. Basically what we did there is we put together a vast set of basically of test cases and acceptance criteria that people wanting to be promoted on the Play Store would have to adhere to in order to be promoted on the store. So if you wanted to be a part of Editor's Choice, or if you wanted to be part of the highlights reel or anything like that, then you would have to pass very, very specific acceptance criteria and test case criteria in order to be promoted on the Play Store. It was a lot of fun and got to work with a very, very wide array of teams from all over the world, everywhere from people in South America to France to Russia to Japan, even got to work on some applications coming out of Africa, everywhere in the world, even places like Greenland. So definitely a very, very fun role. And a lot of what we were doing there, we were looking at what, basically we'd look at a lot of different apps and we'd think, okay, how can we make these better? So it wasn't anything that was, fancy. It didn't require any amount of coding knowledge or anything like that. And it was just a great experience and a lot of fun. So, another thing that I want to bring up is that at that point in time, there were some parallels between what you could call sort of manual QA and usability testing and design. That kind of led me down a path where I eventually became a product designer. And there's a lot of parallels in between how you think, the level of attention to detail, the amount of, work that goes into looking at specific acceptance criteria and what exactly those mean. So after that role as a product designer, I went to another company called ByteLion, which is located in Maryland. That was a very small company. I came on as the head of user experience. And because the company was so small, I also ran our QA team, which primarily did manual QA. Eventually, we ended up building out some processes for automation and things like that. But that was took some time for us to sort of mature those out. And today I am here teaching class with you guys, and I'm very excited about that. Are there any other questions that anyone has for me or anything like that?
Thank you, Mark. Yes,
Yeah.
guys, we are happy to have Mark on board. He's a super awesome key engineer and product designer. I've known him for many years. So thanks, Mark. We'll see you during one of your classes. Thank you. And let me introduce Natalia. So Natalia will continue with our material for today.
Thank you, Yuri, and good evening, guys. So, welcome. I'm glad to see many of you guys join today. My name is Natalia. My last name is Atif. I am a quality assurance manager, and I'm in this sphere for over 10 years. So I'll be one of your instructors, and I'll be happy to teach you guys in simple words, the way that everyone understands, and it's pretty easy things to learn. We just have some patterns. We just need some. We just need to learn the base, and you will be able to work at any company. Pretty much, we always use the same patterns, and learning at once will help you to proceed further at your career, and you can work in the big company, the small company, they're pretty much the same. So today we have a first lesson actually. I'll be sharing my screen, and I hope that you guys will see it now. I'm sharing now. Okay, you should see it. I'm going to start off a quick first lesson, just to give you guys an idea of where you're at and what the quality assurance is all about. And I know that you probably, most of you already Googled it, and Max gave you the demo, so you will be able to go with me from there. So first of all, I want you to understand what the quality assurance is, because the quality assurance can be different. In our case, we are talking about the software quality assurance, and this is not the same as everything else, because you might hear about the hardware quality assurance and other quality assurance, which has nothing to do with software. So do not be confused. We are teaching you the software quality assurance, which is the pretty much the process and procedures and methods that ensure the quality of the final product. So it could be a website, it could be a mobile app, or anything which has some code in it, some software in it. So anything which was programmed needs to be tested before it gets to the user. And pretty much we are not only testing, because if we would be only testing, it would be not complete cycle of procedures for us. We have roughly three patterns that we follow each time, once after each other. So first is the preparation, is when we are reading the requirements, we checking the designs, we understanding how it's supposed to work. We participate in the meetings. We preparing our base for test. This base will consist of some different procedures, such as writing test cases, preparing the documentation, writing different user scenarios. So pretty much we are getting ready for the test. Then we move to test phase, and then moving to test phase, which it basically means that we have to compare what we expected while we prepared to what we actually see when it's implemented. So this comparison part is testing. And then the number 3 part, roughly 3, is the maintenance part. So once we deliver the product to the market, it doesn't mean that your work is done. It means that you will still have things to do, and they will be just slightly different from the phase 2 and phase 1. But usually we have all those phases going in rounds, and you constantly have the preparation part, the test part, and the maintenance part. So you will understand it better once we will be proceeding through the course. You will understand what we are doing during all these phases. But basically, for now, what you need to understand is that in quality assurance, we have the procedures and methods that we use to prepare, to test, and to maintain the software, and bring it to the level which is going to be an acceptable level for the customer. We're not trying to bring the bugs to zero. It's impossible. We will have bugs, but you will have to make sure that those bugs are not interfering with customers' experience. The customer should not know about those bugs. He should not see them, and they should not distract him. So as long as the quality is acceptable level, we are able to deliver this product to the customer, but not before that. And QA is the gatekeeper. QA team is the ones who are going to tell the customer yes or no. Basically not to the customer, but for the customer. We are the ones who have to deliver the quality, and if we are not able to do it, then it's not releasable. So that's our job. Now, what is the testing part? So as I said, the testing part is one of the parts what we are doing during this whole job thing. And in this particular testing part, we compare the expectation versus the reality. We are identifying how correct and complete this software is. We are pretty much deciding if it's ready to go to the customer or not. In this case, it's basically an investigation, and the investigation is done by the QA team. After we provide some testing results to the stakeholders and everyone who is involved, we can define whether it's ready or not. So basically, during this testing time, we're going to work a lot back and forth, making sure that we are fixing the issues, we are getting new issues, we are fixing them again. And by the time we get to some acceptable level of quality, we will be able to release it. So this is the testing, and testing usually takes a lot of time, just because we are trying to catch as many as we can, but we usually restricted by some dates. So this is our testing part, and pretty much during the testing we provide the independent view on the software, and letting everyone in the company know whether we are going to release or we have to still fix some bugs and bring it to the better quality. So that's what we are doing during the testing. Now, I hope it's clear. So we are moving to the next slide, which is the sorry guys, which is the difference between QA and testing. This is very often gets to confusion. Many people are confused. They think that QA and testing is pretty much the same, which is not. So why it is not? QA is a set of procedures, and testing is just one of the things that we do under this QA umbrella. So if we would be only doing testing itself, we would not be able to do it efficiently because we would not be prepared and we would not be able to maintain it after. So it's kind of, we tested and we're done. This is definitely not the quality assurance, the one that you want to have in every company. So the difference between QA and testing is that software quality assurance is a preventative thing. We trying to prevent bugs from happening because we analyze the process of the whole software development, and we start from the requirements and we build our tests based on the knowledge of these requirements. While the testing part is basically to make sure that what we prepare to see, we actually see, or if not, then we have to submit a bug and we have to fix it. So testing is just a part of everything that we do, but definitely not something that, not the only thing that we do. So not to get you or anyone that you're going to be talking to explaining the differences, that's the main difference. The quality assurance is a set of processes, and testing is one of those processes, but definitely not the only one that we are doing. Okay. Now, this course, guys, is for manual testing. This is the base testing. This is the base prerequisite course, because without this course, you would not be able to get a manual testing job or proceed further to, if you decide to automation. But basically, the manual testing is the process of finding the bugs by hand. We are not using any code. We are not using any application. We're just testing as a user. So as a customer, what you will see when you are working with this application is basically what you are doing in the manual testing. You are the customer, okay? Now, if you see any issues, if there is something that you did not expect, or if there is something that you see is working wrong, then you have to treat it as a defect, which we also call bugs. And that you will have to write down in a special program called Jira and send it to the developer. So the developer will have to fix it. if the developer taking long time to fix, or let's say, it's going back and forth, that can actually stop the release. We might just not release the software. The customer will not get updated code just because we don't have that desirable quality, because we didn't fix the bugs which impact the customer. Basically, in manual testing, we will be doing over and over again this testing as a user, and make sure that we reach to the level that is good for the customer, it's usable, it's not breaking, and then we can get to the next phase, which is releasing the product and just maintaining it well, still getting bugs, but it will be much less. And that is manual testing. So basically, you are the first customer, you're testing it for yourself, you're making sure that everything is filed and fixed. And when you reach to the desired level, then you're only giving that to the customer and not before that. Okay, guys, so this course will teach you how to find bugs manually without using the code or machine for this purpose. And now, this is a very common question. When do we need manual testing? Like, we have machines, we have automation. Why would we need the manual testing? There is a lot of times which we actually cannot use machine. So we do things by hand. One of these cases is when there is a need for human judgment. Basically, as a human, we can see something that machine cannot determine. This is happening pretty often, and this is something that we absolutely cannot do with the machine. So that is why we don't. We use manual testing resources. Also, when human intervention needs to be ongoing, oops, sorry guys. That's another case when we need to work manually, because we need to pretty much communicate with the software as a customer to find out where it could break. It's giving some unexpected routes, some unexpected cases, some corner cases, something that the software is not expecting from you. And that is when you find a lot of bugs. And that is something that you cannot really do with the machine also. You have to communicate with the software and find these weak spots. That's another time when you will need it. And then also another case is when automation is too expensive or time consuming. Example is that if you have some promotion going on, let's say on your website, and there is a banner hanging like you will have 50% off of everything during these 2 weeks. We're not going to put automation on that, because by the time we automate it, the banner is gone, the promotion is gone. We pretty much, we spend so much time preparing for it, it doesn't make sense. So all of those temporary things like promotion, different things which are temporary hanging, those are manually tested. And those are the main reasons why we need manual testing, but there is more to that. We will check them later. So if you look at my screen, you see that we always have those 6 steps that we always follow during every QA cycle. First of all, in manual testing, we start from requirements analysis. So it means we read the requirements, we understand them. If we don't, we ask questions. Next, we move to test plan. Your manager will create a test plan for the team to outline the testing strategy. And that's another thing that you will read, you will get familiar with, you will follow. Then you will create test cases. Usually QA team members, manual QA will create the test cases. And after that, once we are given something to test, we will start executing them. So we will start actually testing. And then we will move to defect logging, which means we will file a bunch of bugs. And number 6, we have to re-verify that those bugs were fixed. So this is our circles, which will be ongoing every time, and at every company will be the same. Okay. Now, manual testing versus automated testing. So we have some things that have to benefit each other. So they are not conflicting and they're not competing. Automation and manual, they always work together. Once you will join the company, you will see that every QA team would have manual testers and automation testers. And they will not compete because they will have the different set of responsibilities to fulfill, and they work together. Here is how. So if you look at the pros of manual testing, you'll see that, well, anyone can run the tests. It's easy because, you know, you're the customer and all of us are customers. We can pretty much do it. Why not? Right? Then it's an easiest way to ensure the quality because, again, anyone can test and we can just put anyone and we will get some, you know, results. It's great for people who do not have formal testing experience. As we said, for the manual job, since it's a base, you don't need to have the particular experience. You don't need to be computer science. You don't need to be information system. You don't need to be super technical, nothing like that. Because it's primarily focused on the customer workflow. That's the point. Since you're the customer and all of us are the customers, the manual testing makes a lot of sense. Anyone can test, anyone can ensure some level of quality. But the cons are pretty significant. That's why we eventually have to work with automation. So the cons is that it may not identify all test cases. Why? Because, well, we are all people and we forget and we can skip the particular flows accidentally or not. But the result is the same. Pretty much we will not identify all the tests. It may not identify all defects for the same reason, because you will not have the ability to write all the tests, so you will not find all the bugs. This is making sense. And it results in lower product quality because of residual bugs. So here and there, you will still have those bugs popping up because we are not able manually to catch them all. And that's when we need automation. So automation pros is that it's faster. So faster test cycles, you will be able to run those tests faster and get results faster. It will identify more defects more quickly as the result, because you will run the test fast and you will get all your defects listed out in like 20 minutes or maybe 40. It saves money when test cases needs to be run for 3+ times. When we have to run everything all over again every day or every week, we will go crazy, right? We don't want to do it. So it's easier for us to write a code which will do it for us, and we will concentrate on the new functionality which is coming constantly, but it's not the same as day after day after day after day. So it saves money if you continuously have to run the tests. And it's an excellent way to meet the testing needs of agile development. So agile development is when we are doing things fast. And for fast, we need some efficient tools. So the automation is one of the ways to ensure that the fast environment meets fast solutions. Now, it's easy to focus on possible workflows because we can just pick what we want to test and the machine will test it for us. So it's kind of, it's handy, which results in higher product quality. You see, automation is absolutely amazing, right? However, it has cons, and the cons are also kind of, they are significant. So first of all, the test scripters, the test scripts are typically written by the automation testing scripter. That's the person who knows how to code. You need to find this person, you need to train this person, you need to onboard this person. It takes time. It's not as easy as to get the manual tester jump in. It requires manual test cases to be written first, and then they will be automated. So here is the pattern. As a manual tester, you will be writing those test cases. You will be giving them to automation guy or girl, and they will translate it into the coding language, and they will run on their side. They will not write those test cases. It's not their job. They take yours. So you will have to prepare that. And this is continuous task, so you will have to do it all the time. Also, it requires automation testing platform, which is not free, which just needs to be set up. This takes time. This is a little complex. And eventually, it's not cost effective if used for less than 3 test cycles. So remember my banner example? So that's this. If you have to test something which is temporary, of course, you need to do it manually, and don't spend your time on developing automation for that. So this is the picture of the pros and cons and manual versus automation. And I want you guys to understand that it's not versus really, it's all together. They have to be together to be efficient. In order for us to be efficient, to deliver great quality, to make sure that everything that we want to, everything that we want the customer to see, he sees, we have to use both. There is no way to pick either one, because we will not get to the same quality level as we want, okay? I hope that makes sense for you guys. And if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, please. Now, there is, maybe some of you already found out in Google, you probably saw black box, white box, and gray box. What are those? These are the types of testing, and those types of testing are pretty different from each other. So when you see something which is called black box testing, it means that the tester will test the functionality of the application without having an access to the source code. What it means, you will be only the customer type tester. You will test everything that you see, buttons, links, images. However, you're not going to look behind the scenes. You don't know how the code works. You are not testing the code. That's the black box testing. And in the job description, you might see the black box testing, so you will know what it means. The white box testing, it's opposite from black. Basically, the tester designs additional tests based on the analysis of the source code. For that, you need to have the knowledge of the coding. And the gray box is a combination of white box and black box. Basically, we will test the software as a customer, but we will use the knowledge of the architecture and the knowledge of some tools which can help us to look behind the scenes and make sure that we're actually getting to the coverage, which is not only testing the customer side, but also testing or not even testing, you might just look in the background and see how it works. So you understand that some bugs coming from the background and not from the front. Gray box testing, basically the combination of both is very efficient because it's a lot of tools which help us to check behind the scenes, and they are easy to use. So we can basically use them and get some good information on why this or that is failing. That's what we are doing when we are black box, white box, or gray box testers. So you will see online, you will now know what it means for you. Okay, guys. Now, before I move back to Max, I want to give you some market perspective really quickly. So all of us here, the teachers, the instructors, we are the hiring managers. So basically, we know what we want to see in the candidate that we are looking to hire. And in this course, we design it that way that you will get all of it. You will get the experience that you need. You will have the basic knowledge of tools that you need to use. You will have the knowledge of platforms and devices that we are using or the ones that we have to be familiar with. You will get your verbal skills trained. We will make sure that you know how to talk correctly, how to present yourself. And of course, we will work on the resume because resume is something that represents you. So you want it to look good and work for you. That's what we are offering in this course. and definitely lots more. So stay with us. You will see many exciting things to prepare you for the new career. If you follow these 5 steps with us, then we will ensure that you have the ability to negotiate your pay rate, because each state will have the market rate, and you will be able to fit in this market rate or get beyond it. So we are looking for 70K or more. This is median rate. Of course, you can get more than that, but we don't want you to get less than that. So that's all from me today, guys. I'll see you during the course, and thank you so much for joining today. I hope that you enjoyed the lesson. And Max, are you here?
Awesome. Yes, I'm always here with you guys. Thank you very much, Natalia. And guys, thank you for waiting. I'm going to answer all of your questions right now. I just want to remind you that lesson number 2 going to be tomorrow, same time, same link. Okay, guys, I answered some of the questions in the chat, but I want others to know about the questions as well. So, of course, you're going to have the video recording after the lesson with today's lesson and the presentation. Let's see. What else? Regarding the prices, some people asked me multiple times about the prices because for some reason it was not clear to some of you. So I will explain one more time. Basically, you have few options. One is to pay upfront $2,999 for manual QA, or you can choose the option of income share agreement where you don't need to pay upfront. You just pay the registration fee of $799, after which you don't need to pay anything else until you get the job in IT. Once you get the job in IT, you pay us 15% out of your salary every month at the end of the month before taxes for the first 24 months, as long as you work in IT, in tech. Now, in case that, but that's the basic, okay? So you choose this or that. Of course, the income share agreement, eventually you will need to pay much more than the upfront. So the upfront going to be the best option for you if you want just to pay this amount and not pay anything else. But if you cannot pay this amount, or you're not confident about your ability to follow instructions, then you can choose the option of $799, after which you don't need to pay anything else until you get the job. Okay, very simple. Now, in case that you would like to join automation later, after you did your job search for free 4 months, for example, you can join automation, and all you need in order to join it is just to add another 3 months of your income share agreement to your income share agreement basically agreement. You will need to add another 3 months. You will do it only once you decide to join automation. If you want to do automation upfront to get manual QA and automation QA, you should pay now $5,999. I just want to remind you that automation is not simple. It's not for everyone. It's not straightforward. It's going to be complicated. And probably for 80% of you, it's going to be very challenging because you will need to learn coding. You will need to learn algorithms. And it's not for everyone for sure. It will take at least 3 months to learn, and it's going to be complicated. If you compare manual QA with automation, manual QA is like kindergarten, and automation is like university. So, think about that as well. So I hope that now the prices are clear. Now let me answer the rest of your questions, guys. Let's see. Let me see your questions. Do you need certificates? In QA, in the United States, you don't need any certificates. If you live in Belarus or UK or Australia, you might need it. In the United States, you don't need certificates in QA. If you do hair extensions or nail polishing, you might need it. In QA, in the United States, you don't need it. Let's see. Oh, you will have enough experience in your resume and LinkedIn to get 70K plus. I promise you that. Okay. And most of you are going to get 70 to 100K if you're just following the instructions. So if you have a personal question that is not related to everyone, you can email advisors@careerist.com, and we definitely gonna answer your question. Okay, cool. So we only have the two options of payments that we discussed with you right now. Okay, any questions, you can email advisors@careerist.com. Do you make more money in automation? So guys, I really hope that you watched today's lesson, because I was answering those questions and I said that in automation you can make, for example, in manual QA, you can make 70 to 100K, sometimes 110, but usually 70 to 100K. In automation, you can make 110 to 170K. But again, it's not for everyone, so no need to think about automation until you got your QA manual job. Will you teach us all 3 boxes? So I believe that 3 boxes, you mean black box, gray box, and white box. So guys, manual testing, it's black box. But we're going to do extra. We're going to teach you some elements from gray box, some things like how to search for errors, crashes, and exceptions in the log file, which is white box considered. But mainly the focus is going to be on the black box. Okay, that's what you need. Cool. Awesome. Let's see. Cool. So what's the difference between us and other courses? That's a great question. So first of all, we are the biggest QA course in the United States. We have more than 100 employees. We have more resources and more people to support you and help you more than others. Besides that, our teachers are from Google, Apple, Facebook, Intel. I'm not sure you'll find people from the top companies teaching QA nowadays. Okay. Besides that, our course is 4 weeks. Other places going to be 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. We are focusing you on what you really need. We don't want to waste your time. We don't want to waste your effort. Guess what? We're the first in the United States who created income share agreement for QA. So we are the first QA course with income share agreement. That's why we are much more interested than you to get you the job. Very straightforward. And it doesn't matter how you paid us. It's upfront or you paid income share agreement. We don't discriminate. Whenever we talk to our graduates, we don't check how they paid us. We make sure they're graduates, but we don't care. They paid upfront, they paid the registration and signed income share agreement. We're gonna treat all of you exactly the same best possible way. I can promise you that. Cool. Let's see. Why upfront fee won't be returned if job is not found? So you have 2 options. As I mentioned before, you pay the registration fee of $799, and then you don't need to pay anything else until you get the job. You want to pay the upfront, you want to save the money, you want to pay the upfront, you choose the upfront, and then you will not get a refund in case you take it. Okay, so we have 2 options. You choose the one that works best for you. There is a lot of information how we can remember all of that. So guys, right now we have an introduction. During the next classes, we're going to go into details. I'm going to explain you exactly more details about the different topics. I can promise you, because we are very, we are very transparent and we are trying to always tell the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. The truth is that probably 85% of what you learn, you will never need in your life. At work, for sure. During the interview, maybe. Maybe during the interview, they might ask you something about it. That's why we're going to make sure to prepare you as much as better as we can to pass the interview and get the job. The job itself, it's so simple and primitive that you'll be able to do it after probably, a couple days, okay? Couple hours in many cases. But there is no problem doing the job. You saw what we're doing at work. We're just following instructions, writing bug reports, and verifying bug fixes. That's all we do. We get usually instructions like test cases that we need to execute or to follow. It tells us in steps what to do. To say pass or failed, is it working or not? If it's not, we write failed and we write a bug report. We send it to developer. Developer sends back to us fixed. We verify the bug fix and we move to the next one. That's it. That's our job. You don't need 1 month to learn how to do the job. You can learn it in a couple hours or a couple days. It's very simple. The problem is not the job. The problem is getting the job with maximum rate in minimum time without wasting your time, effort, and energy. That's why we are here for, to save you this headache, to get this maximum rate as soon as possible. Okay? You don't need to search for it for a couple years. You can find it in 1 to 3 months if you just follow our instructions. Very simple. Which operation system is better to work or to practice? Well, I have a MacBook. I don't like using it. So maybe you will enjoy Windows more, okay? So it doesn't matter what you have as long as you can watch the lessons. At work, they will send you the laptop with MacBook or the devices that you will need to test, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, cool. I see some questions are repeating. That's why I'm not reading them. When you work for a company out of state, are you independent contractor or employee? So it depends what you're going to get. Maybe it's going to be, let's say in 70% of the cases, it's contract positions. In 30% of the cases, it's full-time positions. So it depends on your luck, on your horoscope, if it will be full-time or a contract. Or it depends on you. If they tell you contract and you tell them, no, I'm looking for a full-time, then you will just get the full-time. But I recommend, first of all, to get the job and then think about the next job with more benefits and better conditions. For example, you get 70 to 100K, 35 to 50 per hour. Doesn't matter, contract or full-time, take it. After 2 weeks, start searching for a better job with more money and more benefits. Very simple, okay? Cool. Can I work remote? Yes. Most jobs now are remote. How long is the internship? It could be from 2 weeks till you get the job. So, it could be, if you're going to look for a job for 2 months or 3 months, it's going to be 3 months. If you're going to look for a job longer, it's going to be longer. But if you're going to follow the instructions, you will not need much longer, I promise you. Which tools you use to track the bug? As we mentioned and showed before, we use Jira, the most popular bug tracking system in the world. Any other bug tracking system is just a bad imitation of Jira. How long automation course? At least 3 months. Great, thank you. Welcome, guys. Thank you. Let's see. If we don't need certificates, what is our proof that we have the knowledge? So guys, experience. This is the best proof That's why you guys gonna have a real on hand, real experience in your resume, in your LinkedIn. Okay, that's the best proof. Education, no. Of course, you can always say that you did software testing course, of course, but who needs education when you have on time real experience? Okay, let's see. How is testing or assignment? I'm not sure what's the question. I'm sorry. If you work remotely, could you theoretically travel while working? Yes. And you know what? Many people enjoy it, like me. Now I'm in Florida. Before I was in California. Maybe I will go somewhere else. So it's awesome. And our graduates enjoy it as well. Can you answer my question? Can you repeat it? Because if I didn't answer it yet, maybe I missed it. Please write it down again, because I have a lot of messages. Most of them repeat themselves, like, would you send the recording, and many things that repeat themselves. So if I missed your question, please write it down. I will read it right away, okay? How many people enrolled in this current program? Well, I don't know. It looks like 120 people right now. Maybe another 100 gonna watch the video recordings. I don't know. It depends. The groups usually between 80 to 120. Really depends. Okay, so it will not really affect you, because we have a lot of people, a lot of resources to make sure that you will not notice. If it's a small group or a big group, all of you guys gonna get exactly the same. All right. Tell me more about the internship. Yeah, so it's real companies. They're located in the Silicon Valley, in Menlo Park, in Palo Alto, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles. And it doesn't matter where they're located, because you can join remotely from anywhere you want, and you can do it from home. Okay, it's companies that do web, mobile, iOS, Android, Windows, Mac. You're gonna have experience with web and mobile, because that's what you need in today's market. Example of a company we did internship with, just check Verifi.com. It's one of the companies that our graduates were doing internship at. Cool. Awesome. Let's see. Let me just read. I have a lot of questions. The question is, which tool you need to manage the bug? So I actually answered it twice today, but I will answer third time. As I said before, we use Jira bug tracking system for managing the bugs. Okay, so Jira, it's what is used by most of the companies. If a company doesn't use Jira, that's very bad. But like Apple, they have their own bug tracking system, and it's pretty much like Jira, just much worse. That's the difference. Okay, cool. So guys, those that follow the instructions, 95% are getting the jobs. The 5% that don't, they have English problems, or they have problems with the documents. Those that follow instructions, they get the jobs. Those that not following the instructions, they're not getting the jobs. It's very simple. You decide, or you learn and follow instructions, or you play video games and you don't. So you just decide which one you want to be. Very simple, very straightforward. Okay. How will the interview be done? Do we need to travel to do the interview? I don't think so. Why would you travel? In most cases, interviews at work are being done remotely. The interview with us that we're going to have once you graduate the course, of course, is going to be remote. And many companies are going to do remote interview for the job as well. Okay? Cool. Thank you. Do you offer QA automation separately if I decide to take in the future? Yes, of course. But you need to do manual QA to get a manual QA job, or to search for a QA job for at least 3-4 months before you join automation. Do we have access to the content on our own to go back and read, study? Of course you will have it. We have, do you provide internship or we have to find on our own? Guys, we're going to have different internships and we going to provide you different internship to practice. Basically, we're going to provide you different internship to practice web and mobile testing, so you don't need to look for them. Okay. Yes, you will definitely pass all the background check and the reference check, because we're going to help you. We're going to give you references and we're going to guide you and help you with resume and LinkedIn. And we don't have even one graduate that didn't pass the reference check or the background check and did not get the job. I promise you that. Okay, so nothing to worry about that. Let's see. All right. When does the internship begin? It begins after the 4 weeks of the education. Right after that, you start your internship. Okay, let me see. Guys, did I miss anything else? Did I miss any question? Please write it down. Can you please send the survey link again? Yes, of course, guys. By the way, I don't really want to keep people, awake late on the East Coast. So just letting you know that in the future, we don't stay for too long, because we don't want people to, stay awake for too late. Okay. But today, because it's a special day, it's lesson number 1. I'm here to answer your questions, guys. You never answer my questions. Really? Sorry, can you write it down? Let's see. Can I work in the health department with this training? Yeah, of course. You can work anywhere with this training, because, we have people working Google, Apple, Facebook, Intel, porn websites, music websites, applications, anything. Like any company that has a website or a mobile application, they have most likely QA people that doing QA. Okay, so you can work in any industry you want. Just, I don't think you should care about it. You should just apply and get the job where they're going to offer you job. And then after you got the job, you can think about other jobs and continue the search. Okay, cool. Guys, just wait with the questions, because I just received like 50 questions. Let me answer those, okay? If I pay the income share agreement right now, $799, can I decide to switch payment plan to the 3,000? So during the next week, you can, definitely. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's see. Can people get a job without wearing an Apple Watch on their hands? Now serious. Can you please explain how remote interview can look now? A verbal conversation or hands-on test? So guys, in most cases, let's say we're going to teach you how to get between 4 to 10 interviews in this 1 to 3 months. And I promise you that 60% of those interviews are going to ask you exactly what we prepared you for. Now, during those interviews, they will ask you, basically it's going to be a video call, and they're just going to ask you about, tell me about yourself, tell me about your project, tell me about situations at work, tell me about your team, tell me about your company, and many, many other questions that we're going to prepare you for. And it's going to be with 1 person, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. You don't care, because you will be prepared very well to answer, and doesn't matter if how many people it is. Okay. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Do I need DevOps course? No. Why would you need it? In manual testing, you don't need coding and you don't need DevOps. And yes, you could get a job without Apple Watch. I don't have Apple Watch. I actually use Android. So you don't need Apple Watch. But if you're 60 plus, you probably need Apple Watch. Let's see. how do assignments work? Is there homework every day? So you're gonna have homework from time to time. It's not something that's gonna be every day. It's not gonna be time consuming. I'm sure you will finish the homework in 15 to 30 minutes, and you should not worry about the homework. That's not gonna be a problem, I promise you. The other lady said the internship starts on the third day. Did she misspeak? I think she did, because the internship starts after you graduate the 4 weeks of the education. If you decide to join before, after 3 weeks of the education, I believe we can work on that and help you with that as well. But you definitely need at least to learn for 3 weeks, at least. Let's see. All right. So guys, if you have a personal question, like very personal question, just email advisors@carriers.com. DevOps course, why it's in the contract? Okay, so we do have a DevOps program, and if you decide to join this program, it's going to be exactly like automation. Basically, you have the manual QA. You do the manual QA, you search for the job for 2, 3, 4 months. Hopefully you get the job if you follow the instructions. Or if you're not following instructions, for example, you want to decide to move and learn the next advanced program, you can choose automation or you can choose DevOps. And in both cases, you just add 3 months to your ISA. Okay, make sense? Is the internship part-time or full-time? Very good question. So it's going to be for 2 hours at least per day. You choose the time and you choose the days. You choose the days and you choose the time. It's for you. We want to make it as better as possible for you if you have another job or something. So you can choose the time and you can choose the day and you can choose the hours. If you want to be there for 8 hours, it's your choice. But if you're going to do 2 hours per day, that's going to be cool. Awesome. Cool. Let's see. Is there a program we need to download for the course? Well, I don't think so, because Jira going to be in web. You just go to the link. Slack going to be in web. No, I don't think you need to download anything. The tools that we're going to show you, you don't really need to install. You just need to get familiar with them. So Jira you will have, and Testrail you will have in your web version, so you don't need to download anything. Maybe during the internship you will need to download an application on your phone, maybe. Okay, cool. All right. What is JMeter? So JMeter, it's a tool that QA people use in performance testing. 99% of you will never do performance testing, so you don't need it. But you know, it's something that might pop up in 2 interviews out of 10. And of course, you can learn the basics of JMeter after 20 minutes. Very simple, very straightforward. It's a tool that QA people use to test performance. For example, the quality of the speed of the video, or the quality of the video, okay, or the battery consumption, or the frames per second if it's a virtual reality glasses, or the temperature of the device. Okay, so stuff like that. Don't think about it, because you will overthink and you don't need, because in manual QA you don't really do performance testing all the time. But in case the company would need you to do performance testing, a developer or a lead or a manager will just come to you and tell you, hey, you use this tool, you click this button, you check here the percentage of the battery, and here you check the temperature. And if it's according to what is expected, you mark it as pass, test case pass. If it's not, you write a bug report. Okay, very simple, very straightforward. Cool. Do you need to know coding for automation? Yes, as I mentioned before, for automation, you definitely need to learn coding, and it's going to be complicated and sophisticated and challenging. For manual QA, you don't need any coding. Cool. How I can tell the project I used to work on? Well, you will be able to tell about it after you do the internship, because you will work on it. Okay? Awesome. Cool. Guys, did I miss anything? Let's see. Do we create profile on the Carrierist website? So for that, I think you want to discuss with the advisors at carrierist.com all the personal questions. You should ask them and they will answer you. Okay? So guys, again, any personal question, you email advisors@jobeasy.co. In order to download the syllabus, do I need to create a password or will one be sent to us? So guys, you just go to the syllabus link that I sent you. You don't need to download anything. You just open it and you will see everything in front of you. You can watch it even without signing in, guys. Right? I just shared the links with you one more time. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's see. Let me just make sure that I answered all of your questions, guys. Cool. Guys, did I miss anything? Because I think I answered everything. Where can I see ISA contract? I just shared the link with you guys. The registration and the contract link, you click it, you choose the option you like, you take it to your email and you will get the contract with everything. You're very welcome, guys. I will repeat one more time. Any personal question that is not related to everyone, you can email advisors@carriers.com. Cool. Awesome. Guys, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you find 1 minute to do the survey, and I hope to see all of you tomorrow, same time, same link. I hope till noon tomorrow you will be able to sign the contract and pay the fee. You choose the option that works best for you. In case that you do it afternoon, it's going to be probably okay too. I don't know if we will be ready to give you the access for the lesson, but we will do our best. Anyway, come tomorrow, same time, same link. And thank you very much for being with us. The links that I just shared with you guys going to be here for another 10 seconds probably. Why? Because after I close the Zoom, they will disappear and I don't want you to lose them. So I'm going to share with you just one more time the link, and I will stay for another 10 seconds, 20 seconds, so you can use and copy those links. Thank you very much. And you say syllabus is not working. I just went there and it's working. So try again. Okay? Just click the link and copy the link. I promise you it works. And just make sure you take the link and not the syllabus. All right? Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Same time, same link. Bye-bye, guys.